Mark Epstein is calling out the Republican Party and their latest scheme. And folks, this is peak hypocrisy coming from a party that had spent years calling for the release of the Epstein files. Now, just recently, after Trump won, and these files started to become a problem for him, that's when they switched to calling it a Democrat hoax. Now, in a NewsNation interview on Monday, Mark Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein's brother, claimed that House Republicans are now only agreeing to release the files because they have actively sanitized them. Here's what he told NewsNation Monday.
What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out of it. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
Holy shit. If that's true, wow. Now, here's where it might get a little hypocritical. As I've reported before, President Donald Trump did not want these files to be released. Now, over the weekend, of course, he performed a complete reversal. Okay? On True Social on Sunday, Trump wrote this, and I quote, "And as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide." Nothing to hide, folks. Wait a minute. This is the same person who called it a Democrat hoax. You want the Republicans to release a Democrat hoax? That's really weird. Going from calling it a complete and utter hoax to, oh yeah, no, we should release it. We should totally be transparent about this stuff. Yeah. I'm not buying. Okay, I'm not buying this sudden turn. Okay. I do not believe that this is about transparency at all. I believe this is about controlling the narrative. I believe that they will be releasing sanitized scrub files if they end up voting in favor of this, which it's very likely that there are enough Republicans on board to join in with Democrats to release this. Now, there is another possibility as well. Yes, these could be scrub files, or it could be the Republicans, they vote to release this, but the Trump Department of Justice will then come out and say, yes, look, we'd love to release them, but now we're doing an investigation. And since we're doing an investigation, well, we cannot release these files because they're being used in the investigation. Yes, a very important investigation, which might be done in about 3 to 5 years. So, stay tuned for that. But sorry, we just can't release the files right now. But we might be able to release some stuff that might end up being redacted. Oops. So, yeah, no, it wouldn't be shocking to me if that's the case. Okay, considering how we've already had stories of FBI agents that have been assigned to pore over the files and to flag every instance of Donald Trump's name. So, I mean, and like I said, the House Oversight Committee has already released about 23,000 emails, okay? Now, one of them, funny enough, references alleged photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Okay, now many people assumed that Bubba meant Bill Clinton. Now, Mark Epstein, of course, clarified to the Advocate that, oh, no, this isn't Bill Clinton. No, this is someone else. This is someone who is not a public figure. It could even be Ghislaine Maxwell's horse or something. I don't know. Now, Mark had dismissed this whole entire thing as nothing more than, humor between brothers. But I don't know. Okay, what I do know is that this seems to follow a pattern that we have seen from the Trump administration and Republicans for years. Okay, they fight against transparency. They call these investigations hoaxes, or any investigation into Trump, they call it a hoax. And then when it happens, they can't really control the narrative anymore. Oops, they then flip and then claim that we're the ones who are going to bring you transparency. Oh, yes. But In this case, Mark Epstein may have just blown their cover. Oops. Look, yes, they could sanitize the files, they could scrub the names, they can control what gets released, but the truth always has a way of coming out. I mean, look, the Epstein estate itself, okay, they have the files already. They have all these documents. So there you go. That said, House Republicans are scheduled to vote today on whether or not to release these files. I'm sure they will. It is funny, though, that Republicans who fought against transparency for some time, okay, are now suddenly supporting it because of Trump. And maybe they didn't support transparency because they were afraid of Trump, they were afraid of Trump voters, etc. But now that Trump's flipped, that gives them permission to be able to go and do this. Okay, and why did Trump flip? Probably because they're sanitizing the evidence or something, or doing the investigation angle. I don't know. But what I do know is that this does not feel like justice. It does not feel like transparency. It feels like damage control. It feels like they're sanitizing the reality, and they're trying to control what the American people get to see. And of course, this wouldn't be the first time, all right, Republicans have tried to pull something like this. Look, the Epstein case has always been about trying to hold people accountable. And I don't care who is on it. I don't care their political affiliation. I don't care, right? If you harmed a child, that's it. You're gone, all right? That's it. Go straight to jail, all right? And by the way, this is not about, accountability for Epstein. Like, he's not exactly around to, get justice, right? No, this is about everyone connected to his network of abuse, okay? And if it is proven that Republicans are scrubbing their names from these files, and specifically trying to protect Trump, I mean, that tells us everything we need to know about who is actually hiding something. Stay tuned. Tuesday's vote is going to be a pretty big test of whether or not Republicans will actually release the sanitized files, and whether Mark Epstein's allegations about this secret Winchester facility are accurate. This story, it is far, far from over. If this video helped you cut through the BS and see what is really happening, then smash that like button. Every single like pushes back against the right-wing propaganda machine. I can't do this work without your support. So please check out my Patreon. Link is in the description of this video. For a few bucks a month, you can help keep this channel independent from corporate BS. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's keep fighting for democracy and against fascism together.